All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Freedom and Wealth Seeker podcast. Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. Folks, this is episode number 30, 36. 36 is finally in the books. Want to welcome Tunisia, Damon, Tracy, Christopher, Chantel. Welcome back. Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast, episode number 36. A lot of news, a lot of real estate news. I'm going to cover one story that's kind of sweeping social media this evening. I also want to share a case study. I'm going to go into a strategy that I recently used and currently using to acquire more property. That is actually going to be our topic in the Freedom and Wealth lesson. We're on Freedom and Wealth lesson number 10. And also, we're going to talk a little more, not talk about, but I'm going to share with you Direct Mail Wednesday's piece. I'm going to share with you a piece from Direct Mail Wednesday, and this is going to be a mail piece that isn't real estate based, but I really liked the sequence in what I received over the last couple of months from this company. So I am going to share that with you all shortly here. So give me 3 seconds, folks. I'm gonna grab those mail pieces, and also I see some more people are trying to get into the Zoom. I'm gonna allow more people to join us this evening. George Perry, welcome. Welcome back. One of our most active Freedom and Wealth Seekers. I got to shout out to folks that attend these live podcast episodes religiously. Jennifer Jordan, shout out to you as well. Christopher, shout out to you. So folks, let's get right into it. Again, we're on episode 37. So before we get started, I do want to go over a quick disclaimer here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, understand that my content is intended and must be used for informational and sometimes entertainment purposes only. It is very important that you do your own due diligence before implementing any of the methods mentioned and using any of the tools shared, especially tonight, okay? Any results shared on this platform are not typical. Any investments that you make are based on your own personal financial circumstances. And I recommend that you consult with a licensed professional and verify anything that I say moving forward. So I said we were going to share some mail pieces for Direct Mail Wednesday. And this isn't the usual direct mail piece. Usually it's real estate based, but this mail piece really stuck out to me because it breaks down an offer. And I like the design. I'm not saying my design would be exactly like theirs, but I am pulling some ideas for a direct mail piece. Some people are attracted to numbers and some people aren't. I haven't used this company, but this is the first time I really saw somebody break down an offer like this. So people are still trying to log in. This is from a company called Leaf Filter. Okay, Leaf Filter sent this out. And I'm gonna read the postcard. Okay. It says, we were installing in your, first it says Leaf Filter at the top. It has a logo at the top. Okay, it has a logo at the top. And then it says leaf filter gutter protection. And it has a date. There's no date and there's no number, but it says call today offer. Right here at the top, call today offer. All right. And then it goes into, there's another like highlight with 2 words, notes and amount. Right. So it's kind of like a ledger. All right. And it says, we were installing in your neighborhood and we wanted to provide you with an exclusive offer. #1 rated gutter guard by leading consumer magazine. Sounds important. Consumer magazine. Okay. Our process. Step 1. It doesn't say step, it has these bullet points. Right? So step 1, clean your gutters. That's just how I read bullet points. $0. Right? Step 2, realign and seal your gutters. $0. Install leaf filter. 10% off. Entire purchase. No clog guarantee. Plus $275 off. So they put a number, $275 off though, right? Plus an additional 5% off to the first 50 callers. So they create a sense of urgency, right? I like that. Quote, good for 1 full year. I like that. So they're telling us that the quote is good for 1 full year. And they fit this all on I think this is an 8x12 or 6x8. This is a 6x8 postcard. They fit all this in here. Additional senior and military discounts. Call their phone number, and then they have a promotional code. Now that promotional code, a lot of people, like the consumer, would think that that is like a code that they have to get put in to get this amazing offer, right? But I know marketing, that code is probably attached to the zip code where they sent these direct mail pieces to track who's responding, what zip code is or what city is responding versus another. So they're just tracking their data. At the bottom, they have another highlight with their phone number and their website. This is a really good direct mail piece. This is a really good direct mail piece. The and I want to break this down. And I want to share what I got from this and what I would want to implement in my marketing is in regards to my direct mail. So the first thing that they said at the top, outside of their logo, they had a lot of call to actions in this postcard. And they sent the same one twice. And I think I have a third one. I got to find it. But I think they sent out 2 to 3 so far. They say call today. So that's a call to action. That's a micro commitment that they're throwing at the top of the mail piece. And then they're putting in bold letters offer at the top. So the first thing I see is call today, offer, I'm interested, right? We were installing in your neighborhood. Then they let us know that they were already in the neighborhood. Now, I don't know if they were, but they may have been in the neighborhood. And we wanted to provide you with an exclusive offer. Everybody likes exclusivity. Everybody likes to be offered something. Then they go into some credibility. And this is all handwritten, right? #1 rated gutter guard. So in my world, in your world, it will be #1 rated home buyer by leading consumer magazine. Now, some of you haven't been listed in a consumer magazine. I haven't, but you could say something like by network, by friends and family, by your customers, or by you. Or you could just put #1 rated home buyer. Nobody knows. Where are the rankings at? Okay. I don't know who published the leading consumer magazine. What consumer magazine are they talking about? The Consumer Report? They didn't say that. They just said buy a leading consumer magazine. So you can get creative there. You can say by your network of fellow home buyers. Who ranks the home buyers? Like nobody's keeping track of that. Nobody's keeping the stats, right? But I like that. I like that showing authority, okay, in this on this postcard. You can put premier home buyer, you know. You can put home buyer in Maryland or home buyer in California, the top. You could put the top home buyer in your marketplace, or you could say one of the top home buyers in your marketplace to create some sense of authority. So that's what they're doing here. Our process. Then they go over their process, right? And I really like this because I could lead a prospective home seller or home buyer to call me by the end of reading this postcard. It really leads the prospect. And it's not a pretty postcard. It's really ugly, right? And it really sticks out of all the mail. So our process is step 1, call for a free consultation over the phone or call for free consultation. 0 cost, right? Then the second thing we ask is schedule an appointment to view property. Okay. And that's going to happen on the first phone call when they call. Okay. So we're letting them know what the process is. Then step 3, and that's 0 cost, right? To them. Step 3 would be accepting an offer or receiving an offer. It's up to you what words you want to use, what wordplay you want to use. Accepting an offer, getting an offer, receiving an offer. Okay. And then I would have to figure out what to put there where it says 10% off. I would probably put fair market price. Those are the words that I would use in this marketing piece. Okay. And then it goes into some other benefits plus additional 5% off. Right there, you could say plus no realtor fees, no closing costs. Okay. Then it says plus additional senior and military discounts. I'll have to get creative there. So really, I'm using this as a template. And that's one of the reasons why I always tell you folks, especially the folks that own property that get marketed to on a monthly basis, is to save your mail pieces, but not just in the real estate space, save in other spaces, other businesses that catch your eye, their marketing pieces catch your eye. Make sure you're saving their mail pieces, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe and deploy. Okay. I'm going to take this template and I'm going to apply it to one of my mailing campaigns and see what happens. Right. And the front of their mail piece is really simple. Really simple. There's nothing on there. There is like some fine print. Okay. And that's it. They have a lifetime warranty, Better Business Bureau accredited, made in the USA. Then they say, I guess it's their slogan, a company of, oh no, it says they're a company of Leaf Home. So that's the bigger company. So this was neat. And every now and then I'll be sharing mail pieces that I usually don't share that are not real estate based. So what you've all been waiting for, we are on lesson number 10. Folks, I gotta send a shout out to somebody, because somebody texted me. They took advantage of the last day of the free coaching via text. And that is Melanie. Melanie, shout out to you. She actually took action. She located a distressed property in her marketplace, and she is going to keep me posted on her progress with that. So that's, for the last 31 days, I have been interacting with you all via text, giving you tips, giving you different strategies, sharing different websites, and a lot of you have been taking action with that. And I applaud you all, I salute you all for doing so. So this is the freedom and wealth lesson is going to continue each and every week. So this lesson is two-part. I'm going to share a resource with you, and I am going to share my strategy with you, and then I'm going to share a case study based on the resource and the strategy. So for the last, let's say 12 years, I have been using a company to order my bandit signs. All right. I've been using a company to order bandit signs. And I wouldn't say they're the cheapest company in the world, but they're the most, I think, cost efficient and for what you get. And they're also, they also deliver. Like when I say they deliver customer service, and they deliver a hell of a product, right? They deliver a great product, right? And when I say that customer service is the best, I've dealt with a lot of different bandit sign companies, and I'm specifically talking about bandit sign companies that print your message on their bandit sign. Today, I was emailing back and forth about 8 to 9 times with a designer. Then we got on the phone today. This is an order for 1,000 bandit signs. We got on the phone today, and she understood everything I was asking. She was very hospitable. Sometimes customer service can be, you can tell they're trying to get you off the phone. And I've always had a pleasant experience with this company. I don't have any type of partnership with them. I wish I did, because I promote them every year. Since I've been using them, since 2010, I've always told people about this company. So having a good bandit sign fulfillment house that you can order your bandit signs from is key, right? I also want you to understand that bandit signs don't work overnight. Okay, and I hope you're taking notes. They don't all work overnight. Like what I mean by that is you're not gonna run a campaign and get a deal immediately. Okay, it can happen, but your first time doing it ever is probably not gonna happen. Like you gotta run bandit signs throughout the year. Whether you're gonna do it once a month, once every 2 months, once every 3 months, once every 4, you gotta do it, right? Some people do it more than others. A lot of people, like in my market, and I believe my market is one of the best real estate markets in the country, you don't see many bandit signs. And I know why. Number one, the city has cracked down. So if you don't know how to put your signs out legally, you're gonna get fined up to $200 a sign. That's in my market, right? And that's the thing, I can only share that type of information with my academy students and my one-on-one students, just for fairness in the market. But you can learn about the laws yourself through the city ordinances, calling your local council person. And every city, every county across the country has different laws in regards to bandit signs or road signs. And there are news stories there, it's a ton of stuff going on. A lot of blogs about bandit signs all on the internet. the pros, the cons, what the general public thinks of it. I've been in business since 2002. Bandit signs have always been a great way to purchase distressed properties. Okay, I don't care what the media says, or if I know there's a loophole where I can still effectively put my bandit signs out, I'm gonna do it. Okay. But there is a risk involved in bandit sign marketing. And I'll do this won't be the first lesson or the last lesson. I'll do another lesson in regards to bandit signs, especially in this new climate that we're about to go into. The name of the company that I've used since 2010 is called dirtcheapsigns.com. Dirtcheapsigns.com. I get an 18 by 24 size sign, corrugated. Okay. And I changed my messaging. It may be we buy houses. It may be cash for homes. It may be cash for houses. It may be, do you need to sell your house? I use different quick cash for houses. I use different messages on my bandit signs. I use different fonts. I use different colors. So you can get a pink bandit sign. I haven't used pink. I've used yellow, and I've used white. I use yellow with red font. I've used yellow with black font. I've used white with black font. I've used white with blue font. So they're all different types of styles, and they have templates. So just check them out and figure out what your budget is. The other thing that I do when it comes to my bed, this piece of skin is killing me. The other thing that I do when it comes to bandit signs is I always order H stakes, and I order the longest that they have. And H stakes before inflation, you could find for like 25 cents. Okay. I used to get H stakes for like 25, like 25 to 50 cents. Now they're higher. These are like metal stakes. Now you can maybe find them at Home Depot, but I'm sure they're at least a little over $1. And if you check anywhere online, they're like $3. Dirt Cheap Signs has them for like $1 and some change. They're like the cheapest online. So I get my H stakes from Dirt Cheap Signs. Those are the things you have to stuff the signs with, and then you have to place them, right? So that's the lesson. Like it's a resource worth hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars to you. People have made millions of dollars using those signs, right? So I am going to share a live case study. This past weekend, we put out a couple hundred bandit signs, and actually we put out 198 because there were 2 left. We didn't have enough stakes, and we landed a potential deal. It brought in several leads, and I'm going to talk about those. And I'm going to see a property. I'm going to video record. I'm sounding old. Like video record. I'm going to stream it. I'm going to stream footage of me walking through a property that I have negotiated a price less than $10,000 for. That's worth anywhere between 15 and 25,000 as is, right? And I spent a little over $1,300 on bandit signs. I would say 1,600, little over $1,600 on bandit signs, and getting them out there, what it cost me to get them out there in the market. But $1,600 invested up towards a $25,000 asset in this as is condition. I I think that's a pretty darn good return on investment. So we're going to talk about that. And we got to talk about the latest and greatest in real estate. Oh, we're making great time. I felt like I was moving slow tonight. We're making great time. And Bank of America just made a huge announcement. Now, I'm going to give you my thoughts. I don't know the particulars yet. I'm pretty sure you all have seen this article, but I definitely want to talk about it. So this is NBC News. Bank of America announces zero down payment, zero closing cost mortgages for Black and Hispanic first-time homebuyers. Residents in select Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, and Miami neighborhoods will be the first to be offered the program. Now, I have some thoughts on this. My first thought is, why now? Right? And when I say why now, it's why now when we're heading into a recession? Why now when interest rates are higher than what they were? Like, why now, right? The other thing, as I read this article, and I'll put this article in chat, and you all got to know, I've been around this business for a long time. And some things just sound too good to be true. Not saying no one will benefit. I'm very sure people will benefit from this. But in a nutshell, after I read this article, they're basically they're gonna give people loans with no down payment. That means no skin in the game, right? I just put the article in the chat. I want everybody to check it out on in your leisure. No down payment. They do have to take a class, a home ownership class. They're basing the loans off of the person's rental history, their utility bills, their car payment. Like, to me, as a lender, I couldn't be 100% confident in lending money if they're only basing it on that. They didn't say anything about income. Okay. Or maybe they did, but it's very loose. And this reminds me of 2000, the early 2000s when any and everybody could get a loan. Like, I feel like it's a setup. I have that feeling. Like, if you're only gonna go off of rental history, like, what is the rental history requirement? Is it 3 years renting? Is it what is the requirement? It's very vague, and sometimes I feel like if last week it was a lot of bad news about the appraisal industry and a black family affected, but that's been the story for the last 3 years. I feel like, is this a PR move? The other side of me says, is this just good PR? Right? Is this going to be good PR for folks? For the banking industry? Because people are excited about this. But how sustainable is this model? Because the markets that they're starting in are some of I, I would say most expensive. They said Miami, Charlotte, Los Angeles. Okay, it sounds great, but the home prices are astronomical in those markets to the folks that are renting in those markets. So I'm just trying to figure out, and I got to do some more digging, like, how is this truly beneficial, like, over the long run? Like, what are their projections of how or where are they getting this model from? Like, how are people going to be able to sustain, this level of ownership? Because you got to also factor in maintenance on a property taxes, property taxes that will continue to increase year after year after year. Okay. I this is unheard of, especially in questionable times like this, when the interest rate is going to continue to go up. And we're in a recession. Like, bringing a product to market at this time, I feel like it's a PR move. And if not that, then it could be a trap. Like, people getting into mortgages that they really can't afford, which would lower prices in those markets eventually if those people lose their homes. So it could be a good thing, but it could be a good thing if the requirements were a little tighter. Definitely some type of income verification, so we don't end up where we were in 2008. Like, I feel like there's an influx of new home buyers being born every 5 to 10 years. There's a housing shortage, but people should be given the opportunity to become homeowners, but it should be done in a responsible way. And just the sounds of that, it just sounds too good to be true. Like, it sounds like, again, I lived through 07, the early 2000s, when literally everybody from every walk of life was getting a mortgage. And most of the people getting mortgages couldn't afford them. So I would love to see where Bank of America, they going in on Bank of America in the comments. Oh yeah, they got a personal experience. Yeah. So again, I think it's a PR move. I mean, Bank of America could be something with the stock. I bet the stock jump. Is the stock green today? Let me check. Let's see. People sell the news. Did they sell? I would love to know what BOA stock price is today. Oh, look at that. Let's see. Trying to pull up if you guys don't have Yahoo Finance, download that app on your phone. Financial news. Hey, shout out to Anna. Financial news. I'm not getting service in the office right now. Let's go to trusty Google. BOA stock. So this stock is down today. For the last, they've been down for the last 6 months. Year to date, they're down 27%. So let's see what the stock does tomorrow. The news came out today. Sometimes news gives stocks a lift, but who knows if it's going to do that with BOA. I don't know. But this is interesting. This is interesting. Now, on the other side of the token, right? Again, we read our news different ways as freedom of wealth seekers. So I look for opportunity. So if they're telling me that they're focusing on Charlotte, if they're focusing on Detroit, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Miami, and they're focusing on Latino and Hispanic communities and Black communities, I want to know where all those communities are, because that means they're eventually going to be buyers, those landlords that are renting those properties. Some landlords are tired. They don't want to do repairs. They'll sell their properties at a discount. Okay. They'll sell their properties at a discount, which means they could be wholesale, they could be rehabbed and put back on the market. So if Bank of America is funding people that live in these neighborhoods, they're talking about focusing on people that live in these neighborhoods. That means they're creating buyers, right? Not only that, in every market, Los Angeles, Miami, Charlotte, they're vacant properties. They're properties in local government foreclosure, right? That means there are distressed properties in these markets that you can purchase for pennies on the dollar or a fraction of the appraised value. There's now a new market potentially being created for these properties. So when you hear zero down payment, unheard of, right? For the most part. Zero closing costs, mortgages to help grow home ownership. It is what it is. There's going to be an investor or investors that take advantage of the front end of this, and also, I hate to say the back end. I hate to say the back end, right? So, folks, we got to roll into case study Wednesday. Um, it really rolls off of the lesson. So I put out 200 bandit signs, and for my inner circle students and my academy members, my new academy members, you all will hear the good, the bad, the ugly of my recent bandit sign campaign. Not going to share it publicly, but I will share it with my students very, very soon. Went out, we launched a campaign on Friday. 198 signs hit the streets in a particular market, and we received about 10 calls. The craziest call I received was a guy saying, "Hey, I was wondering how much you were going to pay for my horse. I saw a sign that said we buy horses." I said, buddy, I think you read that sign wrong. He said, "No, it says how much would you pay for my horse? I always wanted to know what I could get for my horse." And I said, "Well, you know what, buddy, I don't know that market." And then he hung up on me. This guy was just pulling my leg. I received 3 calls from contractors. So a guy that wants to paint, a handyman who said I do electric and plumbing, and the question I had for him was, "Are you licensed?" He said no. I can't do much for the guy that's not licensed, right? All right. Then I got a call from a general contractor. Most people know I don't work with general contractors, but I got some contractor calls. So that told me something, that the market slowing down potentially, and I think it is. Next week, make sure you join us. I had a breakfast meeting with a private lender, and we talked a lot about the real estate market and also how he got started in the lending business. So it was a real insightful breakfast meeting, and I'll share that with you in case study on Case Study Wednesday next week. However, we put these signs out, and I did receive some calls from people that want to sell. 3 people in particular. One person wanted 81,000 for property. They're going to get back to me this week. There's no way I could pay that in the neighborhood where this seller is asking that price. Like I said earlier, a gentleman called wanting a certain price. He wanted 12,000 for a house in my market. I offered him a lot less than that, and we came to an agreement. I have yet to see the inside of the property. I'm going to view this property with my contractors, but from the outside and from the description he gave me over the phone, it seems like this property is livable outside of all the stuff, the trash he said that's inside. So that could be a huge surprise. Okay, it was his grandmother's house. So we'll see where that goes. And I got a call from a person who is the personal representative of an estate. Now, heard from her, gave her a verbal over the phone, haven't heard back. Maybe she didn't like my offer, but I'm going to continue to follow up until they tell me to stop calling, right? So I want you to understand 200 bandit signs, like that's a lot to go out in one weekend or in one day. You don't have to start that large. You can start with 25. I started out with 25. When I first started out putting out bandit signs, it would be 25 in a specific neighborhood. That's where I would focus my efforts. Okay. But I've been doing this, like I said, since 2010. Long, long time. Actually, before then, 2005, 6 was probably the first time I put bandit signs out. Okay. And they were handwritten. I did them myself, and I stapled them. I had a staple gun, like not yeah, a staple gun. It was like a hammer, and the staple would pop out, and I would put them on phone poles. Okay, but since then I developed a system, and we use H stakes, and it works really well. And as you can see, I may be putting a house under contract from just this first campaign. Okay. And we're going to be doing these campaigns. I just put another order in for 1,000. So campaigns are going to be going out all year. But bandit signs have always worked. There are rules in every marketplace, so you need to learn those. But other than that, I'm going to keep you posted. I'm going to do a video stream walkthrough, and I'll be texting that out to everybody. I'll put it up on the YouTube channel, along with all these podcasts. And I look forward to seeing you all at the closing table, folks. I'll see you at the closing table. Quick shout out to everybody that participated in the voting of the logo for the podcast, for the Freedom and Wealth Seekers. That's the same logo we're going to use for the Academy. I appreciate all of your comments, all of your opinions. Arguably, it came down to the first logo. The third logo got a lot of love, right? The third logo got a lot of love, but the first one is the one we're gonna go with. And there was a couple of reasons why. Number one, the votes that came in, the opinions, from you all that text me to the folks that I talk to off the text line, people on Instagram. I came up with friends and family. I came up with a pretty strong, I guess, survey campaign for this logo, and everybody played a part in this. But the third logo was right there. It was almost gonna be the logo, but it reminded me of like a Western. And I did grow up watching Cowboys and Indians, but I wanted to get away from that Western culture, right? And I wanted to, and I looked at my audience, and we have a really great mix of young folks and older folks, right? That are freedom and wealth seekers. So I took that into account, and I looked at the origin of where I came up with this idea for the logo, and that was from one of my favorite films, Roots, right? So when I look at freedom and wealth seekers, a lot of things are going through my head, and I said I wanted to connect to my ancestors. So I took the Roots logo, the original Roots logo. Then I took the National Geographic. I didn't watch that one, the National Geographic Roots logo, and then there was another Roots logo that I found somewhere, and that has been used over the years to tell that story. And I sent it to my graphic design guy. I said, I need you to create the Freedom and Wealth Seekers logo based on these three. And that's what he came out with, those three. And we chose number one. So you're gonna see that logo on some t-shirts, some hoodies, new backdrop. And we're gonna build from there, folks. We're gonna build from there. I don't know when the t-shirts and hoodies will be available. That's not why I created the logo, but we'll see if you like it. I'll be wearing the the attire, and we're gonna keep it moving. But folks, thank you again for logging in. Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. This is episode number 36. Can you believe it? 36 straight weeks. Episode 37 is next week. I'll see you there, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.